I think when you spread the wealth around, it's good for everybody. My job is not to represent Washington to you, but to represent you to Washington. If the people cannot trust their government to do the job for which it exists, to protect them and to promote their common welfare, all else is lost. After a century of striving, after a year of debate, after a historic vote, healthcare reform is no longer an unmet promise. It is the law of the land. We have real enemies in the world. These enemies must be found, they must be pursued, and they must be defeated. I just want to go through Central Park and watch folks passing by, spend the whole day watching people. I miss that. I've said very clearly, including in a State of the Union address, that I'm against don't ask, don't tell, and that we're going to end this policy. I think one of the great things about the United States has been our ability to maintain a distinction between our military and domestic law enforcement. In a world of complex threats, our security and leadership depends on all elements of our power, including strong and principled diplomacy. The United States is not and never will be at war with Islam. I'm a warrior for the middle class. You know, my faith is one that admits some doubt. I cannot swallow whole the view of Lincoln as the great emancipator. We need to internalize this idea of excellence. Not many folks spend a lot of time trying to be excellent. I think same-sex couples should be able to get married. My fellow Americans, we are and always will be a nation of immigrants. We were strangers once too. I'm a Christian by choice. Issues are never simple. One thing I'm proud of is that very rarely will you hear me simplify the issues. I believe in American exceptionalism, just as I suspect that the Brits believe in British exceptionalism and the Greeks believe in Greek exceptionalism. It's not enough to train today's workforce. We also have to prepare tomorrow's workforce by guaranteeing every child access to a world-class education. Food stamp recipients didn't cause the financial crisis. Recklessness on Wall Street did. This is the moment when we must come together to save this planet. Let us resolve that we will not leave our children a world where the oceans rise and famine spreads and terrible storms devastate our lands. If you're walking down the right path and you're willing to keep walking, eventually you'll make progress. We want everybody to act like adults, quit playing games, realize that it's not just my way or the highway. I don't oppose all wars. What I'm opposed to is a dumb war. What I'm opposed to is a rash war. America and Islam are not exclusive and need not be in competition. Instead, they overlap and share common principles of justice and progress, tolerance and the dignity of all human beings. America thrived in the 20th century because we made high school free. We sent a generation to college. We cultivated the most educated workforce in the world. Money is not the only answer, but it makes a difference. I miss being anonymous. Now we're in the midst of not just advocating for change, not just calling for change. We're doing the grinding, sometimes frustrating work of delivering change, inch by inch, day by day. As a nuclear power, as the only nuclear power to have used a nuclear weapon, the United States has a moral responsibility to act. With the changing economy, no one has lifetime employment, but community colleges provide lifetime employability. Americans still believe in an America where anything's possible. They just don't think their leaders do. A good compromise, a good piece of legislation, is like a good sentence or a good piece of music. Everybody can recognize it. They say, huh, it works, it makes sense.